I finished the game, if I could even call it a fucking game. I already made a rant video, and that was before I finished the game. So I want to do a review. I think the cat's out of the bag, and most sane people know that this game is fucking shit. Unless if you're like an SJW and you're fighting for this game even though I know you didn't fucking play it. So first things first, let's talk about some of the pros of the game cuz honestly, honest to god, like there are a few pros in the game and I want to go over them. I actually wrote them down. So first thing that I enjoyed is that they actually brought back a lot of the controls from the first game because the first game the controls with the movement, the way you can craft and all of that is so like I don't want to say perfect, but it's just works so well. And they brought back a lot of those aspects in this game, which I just found really nice. And they had some new additions like pipe bombs, and I liked that you could prone. I liked that you could squeeze through small gaps because it actually made you look around for certain things. And a lot of the pros that I find with this game involve the combat things. Like for example, the AIs. When you're fighting against the AIs, they are smart. Like I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks that. But there were so many times where they would like sneak up on me. They would say like move up, and I would expect them to come at me, just like full force running at me. But no, they'd like go around the side and they'd sneak up on me, and I just like wasn't expecting that at all. I also found it really interesting that the AIs call each other by name. I thought that was a cool addition because it actually makes them seem like they're real people as opposed to just like, oh no, he died. It's like, oh no, Aaron, she fucking killed him, like that sort of thing. Some other additions to the game that I thought were kind of cool, as far as exploring, I love the rope thing. Like anytime you got to throw rope or move the rope around, I just thought that that was really cool. I like the physics in that. I just very very fun. In the first game, one of the things that I liked is how you could find safes and you have to find a specific note that tells you the combination. In this game, I actually liked that you had to input the code yourself, and a lot of the codes were really hard to find. Like that first one, I believe, the one where it says like it's the employee of the month, the date of my best pal, and it's the dog. Like I just thought that was really cool because you actually have to look for that and you have to process, oh, that like I have to put in the date of the dog into that. It's just I thought that was pretty cool. And going along with the whole safe thing, I thought it was also neat how you would go up to a locked door and you have to try to figure out, okay, so this door is locked, how can I get around a different way? And whether it's breaking windows or there's that one part where you're going into, I think it's like a conference building and you gotta like throw a rope and then go over on the side through the window. I don't know. I just found that kind of cool because there was so many times in the first game where I would like a door would be locked or you can't open a certain door and it's like, well, I could easily just go through that window. So they actually did that in the second game, which I thought was kind of neat. Okay. Now, next thing that I'm going to mention is a love-hate thing. The dogs. The dogs make you panic. When you first encounter the dogs, it is completely awful because you don't want to kill them. But that I think is the point. Like it's supposed to hurt you, especially if you are a dog lover like me, even though I have a cat. I freaking love dogs as well. It just shooting a dog just made it more emotional. Like I didn't care so much about killing the people, but killing the dog, it just ugh. I like that they brought back all of the old zombies like runners, stalkers, clickers, and the bloaters. I liked that they made the bloaters a little more tanky, and I like that they can actually run through walls. I thought that that was kind of cool and quite the like adrenaline rush in that first encounter with Ellie and Joel, and that bloater's just running through walls. There were many times where I lost my crap during that. And then actually, and this is a part where you're playing as Abby that I liked. I even mention it when I'm actually doing my Let's Play. Is I like the Rat King, that huge zombie. Now it's weird because I don't see it as a zombie. I feel like I'm playing like Resident Evil 4 or something with the Rat King, but I did find that part actually fun when you're like running away from the Rat King and then it kind of breaks off into that Orenstein and Smough thing from Dark Souls where it's like the big Smough zombie, and then there's Ornstein, which is the like stalker kind of guy. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool, especially with a part as Abby. I actually enjoyed a section playing as Abby. Most of the other stuff was so boring. Now I don't have a lot of pros when it comes to the story, but there are two things that I can think of. One is when Ellie reveals her secret to Dina. I thought that they did it in a clever way where her mask breaks and Dina's like freaking out and she's like, no, I can't get infected. Of course it was ruined right after that because Dina's like, I think I'm pregnant. The other part of the story that I really liked is when Ellie's chasing Nora and you're doing that chase scene. I thought that was kind of cool. And when Nora starts like coughing because of all the spores and Ellie just like walks up, she's not coughing at all because she's immune, and like just kind of all badass like walking up to Nora. That honestly, those were probably the only two things I liked about the story. That was it. Everything else, I'm done with that pros list. Let's move on to the cons. And boy, are there a lot of them. Okay, so the first cons that I have are a part of the gameplay. Now, a lot of the gameplay I had pros for, but here's two cons that I can think of. I've mentioned this so many times when I was playing through the second game. Why did they change that you have to be looking at an item in order to pick it up? Like before, it would kind of just like you could kind of just pass by it and press triangle and like Joel will just pick up the item. But like with Ellie, you have to like if something's down on the ground, you gotta like crouch to get it. You have to be like looking at like with your camera directly at it. Why did they change that? There's so many times where, especially like with the Rat King, when I'm running from Ornstein and Smough and I'm playing as Abby and I'm like just running and I'm trying to press triangle to grab shit as I'm running, but you can't fucking pick it up because you have to be looking directly at it, which I just thought was really fucking stupid. It's like, why would you change that? It was so nice before. Maybe they were trying to make it realistic, but like it's so inconvenient when you're playing the game. The second thing about the gameplay that I was like, why did they change that also was clickers. Is it just me? Can clickers see you? There were so many times where I'd be sneaking up on a clicker and the clicker would notice me and I'm like, what? And like you could say, oh, well, you had the analog stick pushed the entire way. No, I was creeping. I played the first game on survival mode. I know that when it's really sensitive around clickers, and I don't know what that is, but there were so many times where I'd be spotted by a clicker and I have no idea why. So before I get into the story, I want to talk about the music real quick. There were a lot of really weird choices that went along with the music. And I mean that by like, there were times where the music was almost non-existent. After you finish fighting against, I'm gonna say Smough, I'm just gonna call him Smough, and you're stuck fighting Ornstein, the like stalker guy, there's no music. And I even mentioned that when I was playing it. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is there no music? There's just like a weird ambient noise in the background that you can barely even hear. And you're fighting, like it's kind of like a little boss battle. There's another part toward the end. I think it's like right after, or maybe it's either during or right after you like do that fist fight with Abby and you both are just like about to die. There's no music. And it's just so weird. And another thing, and this kind of pissed me off, was they recycled the theme from the first game that everyone loves, you know, and they put it in a scene with Abby. It's when she thinks that she contacted the Fireflies with Lev and she's talking on the radio.
Who ran that facility?
Do you hear they're playing the main theme
Dr.
from the
Jerry
first
Anderson.
game in here? With her.
He was my dad.
How insulting. The main theme from The Last of Us 1 is in the background with Abby. And that's disgusting. How dare you? How dare you, Naughty Dog, do that with a character that we all fucking hate. Okay. Story. So this is gonna have spoilers, obviously. I finished the game. I'm doing a review of the game. So first things first, if you don't know already, I don't know why the hell you don't know. Why did they kill Joel? I mean, we're all asking that question. Why the hell did they kill off Joel? And I brought this up in my rant, and I honestly do still believe this. I honestly think that they killed him off because he was like this Texan conservative like baby boomer.
I mean, Abby even says it clear as a bell when she's like, "You stupid old man."
Stupid old man.
She's flat out saying it. She's saying, "You stupid old man," and she's getting rid of the stupid old man because you can't have old male thoughts. It's not allowed in this game. And that's why, like, even with Tommy, like, right after Joel gets killed, Ellie says, is this you speaking or is this her? And Tommy, it's clearly like his wife Maria who's influencing his thoughts because he's not allowed to have his own thoughts. And then when Tommy actually does have his own thoughts and he comes back to Ellie and Dina's white farmhouse or whatever the fuck, Dina's so quick to jump on him and say, "You are so wrong," and we're supposed to like think that Dina is right in that situation because she's crying and she's like, "We have a family." And then the only other guys who actually speak up are younger men, and of course they get killed because you can't have male thoughts in this game. Like, I honestly believe that that is what they went for, what Neil Druckmann went for when he created this game. He's like, we can't have men in this game, so we either have to kill them or destroy their lives. And it's so unfortunate that he did that because it's just completely excluding half of the entire population. Like, what are you thinking?
It's just all a bunch of like young people. And it's weird. Like, that's not what the, like, did you notice that, like, every single person that we run into, aside from a few random people, are all extremely young, like Ellie. Like, there's Ellie, Owen's young, Abby's young, Mel is young. By the way, Mel is so fucking stupid. Can I just get that out of the way? Can we all agree that Mel is just, she's such an idiot, because she's like, "Oh, I'm pregnant. Can I go out on the front lines with you in a zombie apocalypse, and we're gonna fight against scars?" And I mentioned this in my rant video when Abby even asks her, where she's like, "Wait a minute, like, is Owen okay with that you go out on the front line?" She's like, "Oh, well, what would he have to say about it?" She's just so fucking stupid, and it's probably like that whole message of my body, my choice, and it's just so, it's so out of place, and it doesn't belong in that game. So Ellie and Dina, I need to get that out of the way. So this was probably the thing that I talked about the most in my rant video, and I'm still ranting about it because it's so stupid. I don't mind that Ellie has a girlfriend. I actually didn't mind Dina at the beginning of the game. I thought that their chemistry was kind of, I thought it was weird that, like, Dina immediately broke up with Jesse and then was, like, you know, kissing Ellie, and then they kind of, like, slept together, and it's like, what? It's kind of random, but I still kind of liked the banter that they had back and forth between each other. But the game is so focused on their relationship. Whenever you are playing as Ellie, it is always focused on Ellie and Dina, and that should not be what's happening in a zombie apocalyptic world like 25 years after the outbreak. That is so weird that they did that and they made that the main focus. Again, I don't mind that Ellie has a girlfriend. I actually wanted her to have a girlfriend. I wanted her to find love.
I'd be interested to see, like, what, if they would do anything like with that in part 2. Who knows? Maybe Ellie will find a girlfriend in all of this apocalyptic craziness.
But I don't think that it's right to have that be the focus of Ellie's story. The focus of the game was supposed to be about Ellie, not Ellie and Dina. There's a reason why Ellie is on the front cover of the game, which I just find so stupid because you don't even play as her for like half of the game. So, speaking of other characters, let's talk about the side characters. These side characters suck. Whether it's on Ellie's side or Abby's side, especially Abby's side. These characters are so lifeless. Let's talk about the characters on Ellie's side. So, the new characters that we've met are Jesse. I actually like Jesse. You can tell he actually has morals because he comes down after Ellie and Dina screwed, and he's like, you realize that people are counting on you, right? Like, he has morals, and then he goes and helps Ellie, and I just thought it was so stupid the way that they killed him, but he actually wasn't that bad as a side character. Dina, I kind of liked her at the beginning, and then by the end, she was just so fucking annoying that I couldn't. Like, she's so mean to Ellie, like, Ellie needs to go finish this shit. And it's like, she's just, like, in her own fucking world and just can't wrap her head around, like, that Ellie needs to get revenge because this crazy motherfucker killed her father with a golf club. Like, she just can't wrap her head around that shit. She's like, we have a family. It's like, no, bitch, you fucked Jesse and you got pregnant, and now you're making Ellie and you take care of your child. No. Like, that... Oh, so fucking stupid. So then let's talk about the new side characters on Abby's side. Alright, so there's Owen. Owen is the only character on Abby's side who actually shows, like, emotion. Like, when he's talking about how did he kill Danny? I don't even know, because I don't fucking care. But, like, Owen, when he's talking about how he, like, accidentally killed Danny, like, he's actually sharing that he's upset. He's actually being emotional. And then we have that fucking sex scene, which just, like, ruined fucking everything, and I fucking hate Owen. I think he's a horrible character. He fucking cheats on Mel with Abby and just, like, fucks her from behind. It was so freaking random. And then we have, Danny, who, they're like, oh no, Danny, and we're like, who the fuck is Danny? Like, we don't know who Danny is. And they're like, oh, Danny died, and Abby's like, fuck. And then there's Mel, who I've already mentioned. I fucking hate Mel. And then the worst side character, in my opinion, is Manny. And I hate him. I hate Manny. I hate Manny so much, and here's why. Because you don't see, unless if I'm just, like, not playing certain video games, you don't see a lot of, like, Hispanic characters portrayed very well in video games. And so I understand what they were trying to do with Manny. They were trying to, like, you know, get some Hispanic representation, okay? Why would you do that with a character that everyone, like, probably hates the second most in the game, like, under Abby? Like, of course everyone fucking hates Abby the most in this game, and then Manny is right under there because you made Manny spit on Joel's corpse and call him a pendejo. What the fuck is wrong with you? What are you thinking? And then when you do that, and he has no redeeming qualities, the only part where we actually see Manny have, like, some kind of a personality is when he's talking with his father, kind of at the beginning when you're playing as Abby, and he's talking with his dad in Spanish, which, like, cool. But then what they do is they think, oh, this character's Hispanic, let's have him speak Spanish the entire way through until he dies. And it's, like, so weird and out of place. Like, I don't have an issue with him speaking Spanish, but, like, that's his only quality. And you already fucking hate this character, so whenever he's speaking Spanish, you're just like, can you please shut the fuck up? Okay? Just shut the fuck up. I just think they did a really poor job of trying to represent a Hispanic character. To represent a Hispanic character, you don't just have to have them speak Spanish the entire fucking time. Okay? Going further into how much these side characters fucking suck, if you go back into the first game with the side characters that we got to see, most of them a lot less than the characters in this game. For example, Sarah. Sarah, we get to play as her for a tiny bit at the beginning, and we really, like, we spent, what, like, I want to say maybe a total of 7 minutes until she dies in the first game. And I mean, you can find videos all over the internet of people crying the first time that they played that game. Why? Because Sarah actually has a personality. We see her, she's caring about her dad in the beginning. She's concerned about their neighbors, and when Joel shoots their neighbor at the beginning of the game, she's so shocked, and she even, like, can't put words together, and she's like, you shot him. And then when you're driving in the car and you're still controlling Sarah and you can look around, there's these people who want you to pick them up in the car, and Joel's like, just keep going. And Sarah, you can hear her say, we should have helped them. Like, she's very much a child. She has this child personality, and when she dies, it's so, like, heart-wrenching. It's so sad because she's not just a color. She's not just a character. She's a person, and we feel like we're losing a person. When Joel loses his daughter, we feel that. We feel like we're losing a sibling. We feel like we're losing a child. It's very, very hard. And that's why I love Sam and Henry so much. Oh my god. I've replayed the first game probably 4 or 5 times, and every single time I get to that part where Henry has to shoot Sam and then he can't handle it and he shoots himself. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. We barely spent any time with those characters, and I sob every time Henry pulls that trigger. I'm crying. Oh man. That part probably hits me harder than any part in the game. And you know what? Look at me. I'm white as fuck, and I'm a chick. And I relate more with black male characters in the first game than I do with any of the females in the second game. Why? Because it's about their personalities and not what they look like. Stop trying to judge people about what they look like. Okay? It's not about color. It's not about race. It's about personality and who they are as people. And when you create really, really shitty characters in the second game that we can't relate to, but you're representing because you have all these different races and all these different genders, we don't fucking care because they're horrible people. Why would anyone, any female, want to attach themselves to Abby, be a murderous, psychopathic bitch? Why would anyone want to do that? The game makes it all about feminism and how everyone's equal, but by doing that, they have to kill all the men. Have you noticed that? Every single man, by the end of the game, dies or, like, is Tommy, where his life is just fucking ruined, okay? His face is all messed up, he got a fucking divorce. Every man's life is ruined except for Lev, because Lev is trans, so you can't ruin Lev's life, right? And speaking of Lev, I don't mind that Lev is trans. I mean, if you're gonna have representation of a trans person in a game, fine. Like, Lev can be trans, whatever. But I find it so unbelievable that no one questions Lev. Like, Abby immediately just says, like, just starts calling Lev he.
You're a good brother.
Good
Can I ask you a question?
brother?
Okay. Do
Huh?
you regret?
Like, I was calling Lev a girl from the beginning of the game up until the point where Lev's like, I'm actually trans, and I'm like, oh shit, you're a dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I've been calling you a she this whole time. But even, like, Ellie, even, you know, just, like, random people, they don't question it. They don't ask, like, oh, is she okay? Because Lev is clearly voiced by a woman. So, like...
Lev.
I wish I had just ran away. Then Yara wouldn't be caught in all of this.
Lev sounds like a woman, so when it's like so unbelievable to me that not a single person questions Lev's gender. It's they're all just like, oh yeah, Lev's clearly a guy. But it's like, I don't know, I found that very unbelievable. Another thing going off of, like, how the men all died, but, like, the women are fine. Did you notice that all of the women that are killed in the game are never killed by men? All of the women that are killed are always killed by other women. They never let a man kill a woman in the game. Unless if I'm wrong, unless if you can find, like, one weird example of that. The women kill the men, and the women kill the women. There's never a man who kills a woman in this game. Unless you can find something. Like, if you find something, please, like, debunk that. So Joel, let's talk about Joel. At the end of the first game, what I really, really like about The Last of Us 1 is that we never see anyone... There's never, like, a right or wrong, right? So a lot of the decisions that Joel makes, including the decision that he makes at the very end of the game, in the first game when he lies to Ellie, he kills everyone. There's never a moment where the game tells you Joel did the wrong thing. It's up to the audience, and I like that. Because there are some people who, if they were put in Joel's shoes, they would have done the exact same thing that Joel did. And then there's some other people who are like, he's such a piece of shit, he ruined all of humanity, but a lot of people, they try to imagine themselves in Joel's shoes, and they say, yeah, I would have done the same thing. However, in the second game, what they do is, instead of letting the audience decide whether Joel did the right thing or not, they immediately just say, he's a piece of shit. He did the wrong thing. Let's kill him. And they keep reminding you that throughout the second game, Joel made a wrong decision. Joel did a bad thing. And it's like with Ellie yelling at him, it's with him being dead and Abby just like having vengeance on him. The game keeps reminding you, remember Joel did the wrong thing? Remember in the first game, Joel did the wrong fucking thing? Well, no, because that's, like, what was the point of the ending of the first game. We were supposed to decide, as an audience, whether Joel did the right thing or not. Okay, so let's talk about the big cheese of this game, Abby. We all fucking hate Abby, alright? It's no surprise. We all fucking hate Abby. And we have to play as 10 hours as this bitch. 10 fucking hours as Abby. We are stuck playing as the woman who fucking murdered Joel, and there's nothing that you can do about it if you want to finish the game. And you know, at least they could have tried to make Abby a okay person, an okay human being, but she has no emotion. She has no fucking personality. There's one point where we see her crying, and it's after Mel says, like, you're a piece of shit, Abby, and of course we're all agreeing with Mel. For once, we all hate Mel, but we're all like, yeah, Mel, like, she is a piece of shit. And when you're playing as Abby, the part of the game that I've never played a video game that has emotionally scarred me as much as this game, and I'll tell you the exact moment when it happened. It's when you have to play as Abby and go in to the theater, and after you kill Jesse, you have to try to kill Ellie. And when you're sneaking around and you have to go up and punch her in the face, that killed me. That hurt me so much, and I can't even put into words how much that upset me. And it upset me so much that I couldn't finish the game at first, and I went on a vacation, like a week-long vacation, and I came back, and then it was almost like the Kubler-Ross model of grief. Wow, that's the game. The Kubler-Ross model of grief. You start off and Joel dies, and you're like in denial because you're like, Joel can't die. No, Joel can't die. Joel can't die. Joel can't die.
Joel,
no.
get up.
No.
Joel, fucking get up.
No.
Please stop.
No.
Please don't shoot.
No.
Joel, please get up.
No. And then you're kind of like, well, maybe the game will get better. You know, you're in denial, right? And then it goes into anger, because then when you start playing as Abby, you're just fucking angry the entire fucking time.
And you wasted it.
Because of you! Abby, you're an ass. Now where's this gonna go? Was it gonna do 2 years earlier?
Dad?
Oh, we're playing as young Abby? What is this game doing? What?
Dad!
Because you can't believe that the sequel to the game that you've waited for 7 fucking years is this horse shit. I'm pissed off. Like, a lot of people are. And then, after anger, is bargaining. You're trying to figure out, is there a way I can return this game? And of course you can't, because they won't let you. Some people were actually able to return it, like, within the first few days, because some places actually accepted that. Bargaining. You're trying to return the fucking game, but it doesn't work. Or if you're like me and you know that you can't already return the game, then you start to bargain with yourself. You say, oh, well, I'll play a little bit more. And then it just becomes a huge shit sandwich. And so you bargain with yourself, like how I did, and I said I'd get drunk for part of the Let's Play because I couldn't fucking stand it anymore. But that doesn't work because you can't stay drunk forever. Cheers, bitches.
Is it this?
So then you get into depression. which is what I went into when I had to take Ellie's face and slam her against the theater floor.
I hate this. Oh my god, stop! You're making her face bleed! Stop! She just broke her arm! Oh my god! Stop! 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 Stop!
I was so upset that I actually called someone afterwards and was just crying over the phone, talking to this person about how emotionally upset I was that I had to play that, and I had to like take a character that I loved so much from the first game and just destroy them in the second game. It hurt me. And then I went on vacation and came back and I got into acceptance. You know what? Let's have a nice breeze go through the curtains. We'll zoom in slowly on the guitar as Ellie walks away and we see the wilderness in the background. Genius. And then just as the camera focuses, cut to the credits. This is so original. Naughty Dog! There it is! What a shit game! Where I just accepted this game is a pile of shit. I'm gonna finish it. There's nothing that is gonna make it better in the end. And I went through the Kubler-Ross model of grief in The Last of Us 2.
Hope y'all enjoyed this review. If you did, go ahead, leave a like. Please leave a comment. I love the comment section. I always read all the comments, and it's a wonderfully toxic wonderland of just sludge, and I love it. So please leave a comment. Also subscribe if you'd like. I'll have more shit up if you enjoyed my shit. Kitty!